Hey folks, welcome back to Max Nave Horsemanship and Baby Steps. And well, clearly it's not the same day. I'm dressed a little different, and it's windy and cloudy, and there's a tiny bit of sun pokes out once in a while. I don't get these forecasts. Weather forecasts really drive me nuts. It's like it's kind of a running joke. Being a meteorologist is great. For a career, you actually get paid to be wrong. It's not really that much of a joke. The forecast for Saturday and Sunday was supposed to be pretty much identical, nice and sunny and warm and all that good stuff. Well, it didn't stay that way. And in fact, I woke up Sunday morning and it was raining and windy and cloudy, of course, because it's raining. And I'm like, what is going on here? And so I pick up my stupid phone and I look up the forecast, and well, guess what? Now all of a sudden they've changed it. Got a good chance of rain for most of the week. So, but can't wait for a nice day around here. And I really don't know what the 60% and 30% chance of precipitation means, because, hey, it's 60% chance of precipitation today. I haven't figured out what that means, because, well, it rained earlier this morning and hasn't rained since. It's been ridiculously windy, unfortunately, but it hasn't rained. And then, so I don't know what that one means. There's another one you see often is 30% chance. Well, 30% chance, in my experience, usually means it's probably not going to rain, and it's just going to be cloudy for most of the day. And if it does rain, it's going to be a light sprinkle for about 5 minutes. That's what 30% means. But, I mean, really, does that mean it's going to rain 30% of the time? Or, I don't understand this stuff. Could somebody please enlighten me what the heck it means? Maybe they don't do it where you live that way. They do it around here, and it makes no sense at all. They've been doing it that way for a few years, and I don't know. Weather forecasts are just a joke anyhow, as far as I'm concerned, because they can't forecast more than about 6 hours in advance with any degree of accuracy whatsoever. And, well, we're in the real world here, outside, in the elements, and it is what it is. You got to deal with it. Now, you'll notice today I'm wearing my jacket. It's not that it's that cold. It's actually not particularly cold at all. In fact, I think according to the weather thing the last time I looked at it, it was actually supposed to be 1 degree warmer today than it was yesterday, which isn't much. But however, it's pretty darn windy, and being that it's a little humid because we just had rain this morning, along with a good wind, it makes it kind of chilly. So anyhow, I want to pick up where we left off yesterday. We had this sweet little girl here, and we were getting her used to the tarp. Now, unfortunately, due to the high winds today, there's a few things I'm not going to be able to do yet. We'll get to them. I'll show you eventually, because I have to do them with her, and I gotta, I don't like waiting for a nice day around here, but sometimes you got to wait until you can at least do certain things. It's just, being realistic. But today, I'm going to show you, when it comes to getting her to walk over the tarp. In my last video, I said that I came up with yet another way of doing things, and there's more than one way. And in the video, if you watched it, I even mentioned there was a fourth way that I hadn't shown you yet, and I'm going to. And today, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you the fourth way. I think it's the fourth way. I don't know. There's a bunch of variants, but this is just another idea I came up with. Now, what we're going to use for that one, same tarp. I got it folded over so it's just a tiny bit skinnier, but that was just for convenience for me and not so much for the horse. Now, of course, you'll see over there we're using just an ordinary tire, just an ordinary old tire, and it is quite old actually. Looking at the date on it there, it's got letters, not numbers. It tells you how old it is. But it's a very old tire, and unless you happen to have your horse somewhere where they have a bunch of neat freaks that don't like having old tires laying around, you can probably find an old tire laying around that you could use and do the same thing with. You have to pay to get rid of them. So this thing is basically, it was free. So I'm using stuff that I found laying around that I'm going to use for free. Actually, that particular one was laying not too far outside of the round pen, so pretty handy. There's actually still a couple more out there if we ever come up with a use for them. But short term, we're going to use this one. It's just the right size for what I want. It's not too heavy. The other ones are even bigger yet, heavier. We're going to use this one because, well, it doesn't really matter what you use. It doesn't have to be particularly heavy. You just have to keep the tarp from blowing away, and so you can control it a bit. And if you happen to get a day that's pretty much dead calm, you might not even need one. But you can use a rock, a brick, anything you want to set on the tarp to keep it in place where you want it. I'm going to show you how we do this. Give me a minute. I'm going to zoom in a little bit on that area and put a halter on the horse, and then you can kind of get an idea what we're doing. And I'll show you. It's pretty simple. We got things ready to go here. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. I have no idea because actually the camera's on the outside of the round pen, and I have it zoomed into this area a little bit, and it's a long ways away from me. I can't see the monitor. I have absolutely no idea what you can see. And hopefully you can see enough because I don't want to have to do this again. But you see what I'm doing here. And there's a couple ways you could do this too if it wasn't so windy. You could just take your tarp and have it come straight through out the other side. I got it just kind of rolled up inside there, inside the tire, so that the wind doesn't get a hold of it and make it fly around a bit, because that's not what I want right now. But you can see that the end of the tarp is actually a fair ways from the fence. So what we're going to do is we're going to have her walk through there. And I got my flag with me just in case. Probably won't need it, but it's there. There we go. Actually, I kind of needed it. Well, it's because I didn't cluck. Okay, I guess I do need it. She really doesn't want to do this. Now we're just going to send her back the other way. I haven't changed a thing here. We're still doing exactly the same thing the whole time. Now, it's a good thing I didn't put that tarp any further in because it seems to be at her limit. Come on. Come on. Okay. You gonna go? Are you gonna go? She does not want to go. There. Well, she's not very happy about this. I'm really glad I didn't move the tarp in any further. I thought this would be fairly simple with her. I was wrong, yet again. This whole ordeal seems to be quite the thing. So, well, I can't just yet show you what we were going to do, but bear with me here. We're going to do this a few more times. There we go. That's better. Now, she's fussing about this halter on her head, and she doesn't like me having control, throwing little tantrums, so I just held on firmly to it and kept tension on it so she realized that all that fussing and nonsense wasn't making the pressure go away, because I don't want her to learn that. That's a bad thing. Don't want the horse to learn that misbehavior makes pressure go away. So that was just one more thing. I come up with these things all the time. I'm going to show. There's a lot of little things that I get to throw in on these videos that might not seem that important or part of what we're doing, but they're just something that happens along the way that we address. Her having a little bit of a tantrum there and throwing her head around, well, that's just one of them. That's not what we're working on, though. We're working on the tarp. And well, you can see there is a very, very small piece of tarp. There's well, depending on which units you're in. Well, here's my boot. See, 1, 2, and a little bit. Okay? We'll call them feet, because ironically they are actually exactly 12 inches. They're size 12s. But I don't know what that would be in meters. It's less than a meter anyhow. We haven't got a whole lot sticking out there. And the idea is what we're going to do is we're going to get her to go through the opening, which shouldn't be a huge problem. Come on. Come on. It shouldn't be a whole problem. But apparently it is. We're going to keep doing this until it's not a problem anymore. And then I'll show you what I'm going to do next. Okay, go that way. Good girl. There we go. That was a little better. Hopefully we can keep that up. That's a good girl. Yes, you are. And we're going to go slow, so this might take a little while. But I got a couple other clips from yesterday with the other horse that I'm going to put together with this one. And so you'll get to see a little bit more. So by the time we're done here, this isn't going to make a full video. I sure hope not anyhow. But I'm going to put it together with some other clips, and I'll be dressed different, weather will be different, blah, blah. But it's okay. It'll all be one video. Where you go, dear? Oh, good. Much better. Much better. Okay. Ooh. Turn around and go back the other way. And hopefully, there we go. You notice now I'm not having to employ the flag. She seems to be better one way than the other. I just noticed that. She kind of rushed through going this direction. The last time, I'm going to do this one again. Last time she just calmly walked through. See, this time she's trotting, and when she gets around to this side, okay, that was actually a tiny bit better than the last time. There we go. She's getting better about this. Okay. Oh, I just... As soon as she got past that thing, she sped up to get away from it, as if it's going to... It's not even moving. The wind's not flapping it or nothing. I don't understand what her problem is. Yesterday she walked over it. So we'll go this way. Oh, and she picks up her speed again as soon as she gets past it. Now we're going to move up just a little bit. Now I showed you how much it's sticking out. Just over 2 boots, right? Well, we're going to up that to about 3 boots. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. So we're going to pull it out. Oop, maybe I went too far that time. Oh, well. I'll just pull the tire back a bit. There we go. Problem solved. Now, so the opening there is actually a little bit smaller now. Now, we're doing it in this particular direction on this side of the round pan because that's the way the wind's going. And hopefully this thing's going to stay laying down there the whole time. Let's see. Because, you know, if I didn't have rocks in my boots, I'd probably get blown away right now. It's not very nice. I'm having trouble. My hat's not even wanting to stay on. Okay, away you go, dear. There we go. Yeah, going that direction gets her a little concerned. Let's go back the other way. There we go. Still a little bit concerned going that way too. So we won't advance too much. Easy there, girl. Easy. She gets pretty upset when she gets past that thing. And she's throwing her temper tantrum again. And it's not working, so now she stopped doing it and stepped into me. See, the lead just went slack. Okay, there you go again, dear. There we go. Very good, very good. So what we're going to do now, I'm not sure if I got this tire spaced properly or not, but if I had taken a little bit more time to do this properly, there we go. I would have actually measured it out so that tarp is exactly the length of this distance, so when I get it all the way out, it's still going to be under the end of the tire. Actually, it still is going to be. It's all rolled up under the tire at the moment, and no wonder things aren't working well. Okay, very good. But you see what I've just done again? I just moved it out again, so that opening is getting smaller. Okay, this is the fourth way of doing it, and you just and to do it properly, you should probably go a little bit slower than what I'm doing right now. I'm actually speeding things up for your benefit, but you should actually go a little bit slower. Keep the horse going back and forth through it until it's gotten significantly calmer. She's still a little hyped up, so doing this, moving it in, it's probably not the smartest thing to be doing right now. I shouldn't be advancing it that fast, but this is what we're doing. And no, you're not going that way, dear. I want you to go that way. You know what I want. Good girl. Not bad. Not great, but not bad. Let's see if she'll go back the other way. Oh, there's room there. You can go through there, dear. No. You go through there. There we go. See, that's definitely at her limit of what she can handle at the moment. Because that time she actually balked. She didn't want to go through. Even there's still a good size opening there. It had encroached on her space enough that she wasn't going to take a chance. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to keep going. And we'll see. I notice she's a little better this direction than the other. So I'm going to go this one again. Then I'll go back this one. I'll see what happens here. This is the direction where she gets a little more excited. You see as she speeds up. And this is also where she starts really throwing her head around after the fact. Okay, she's gotten better. Got over that quicker this time. There we go. And we're just going to keep repeating this until she gets better. She's clearly not real comfortable with this right now. So, that's okay. Oh boy. She's really having a fit with that halter. Excuse me, dear, but I don't care what you say. I asked you to do something. Yes. Good girl. And fighting with the halter isn't going to win you nothing. Good girl. That was interesting. She actually approached quite calmly. I was thinking things were looking pretty good until about her back end got near that thing, and all of a sudden she launched. So I'm not going to move it in anymore yet. I'm just going to keep doing this. Come on, dear. No, there's room there. There we go. Good girl. There's a good girl. That's a good girl. There we go. Let's do this again. You have to go that way. Good girl. Yeah, she's definitely at her limit there. Which, but if that's what it is, that's what it is. And I'm kind of glad this is happening so I can show you. I said this in the last video that if we didn't have any problems, I couldn't show you much. So we're going to have to do this for a while. And when she starts getting pretty decent with this, I'm going to move it in just a tiny bit more. And I'm going to keep doing this and gradually moving it in a little bit at a time, slowly. Eventually she's going to get to the point where she's got no choice but jump it or walk on it, depending on which way. I don't know. That's up to her. She has demonstrated both. And I think rather than stopping and talking to you, I'm just going to keep going. She's really not good this direction. I'm going to go back the other way. There we go. Yeah, she's definitely better this direction, but she's still, even this direction, not real happy about doing it. Oh, she's really having a problem today. There we go. Oh, she don't like that one little bit. Whew. Well, just going to keep going here. It's going to take a while, apparently. Maybe today's video isn't going to be so short after all. Oh, easy there, girl. Easy there, girl. Easy. What? She really don't like this thing. That's why we got to do it. Because you don't want a horse that doesn't like things. You want a horse that has gotten used to virtually everything. And, okay, that was much better that time. She didn't toss her head after the fact, that she moved through a lot calmer. I'm still not going to move that thing in any. Oh, that was better yet. I know it does. You probably don't even notice the difference, but there is actually a tiny bit of difference. I'm standing a little closer to her, watching her, and I notice these things. I can tell just by how fast she's moving through, because I'm quite close. I can judge her speed a little better. That's a good girl. That's a good. Oh, no, that was definitely faster again. Something happened there. She picked up speed again. I don't know what that was about. No, I want you to go that way. Very good. Wow, that was much better. Oh, that's right. That's a good direction. Yes, that's much better. She's still walking after she got past it. Much better. I wish she'd do that going the other direction. Let me try it and see if she's improving. She was actually improving a little. She's already trotting before she even gets to it. Easy there, girl. Easy. Good girl. Now I'll just go back the other way now. We're going to be at this for a little while. Okay, she's doing better, much better going that direction. The other way still isn't too good, but I just want to speed things up a little here for you guys. So I'm going to pull the tarp out a little more yet here. And well, as you can see, tarp's up to here now. There's not a lot of room for her to go by anymore. But she's going to, one way or another. She has a choice of either squeeze by or jump over. And I really don't care which she does. It doesn't make a bit of difference. There you go, dear. Good girl. Oh, not bad at all. She didn't run away from it. She didn't panic going through. And that opening was quite a bit closer this time. I'm going to go the other way just to see how she reacts. There we go. Wow. That was a huge change, and I don't understand that because we made the opening even smaller, and she went through it even calmer. That's weird. I don't understand. Well, since things are going reasonably well here, leaving her over there away from this thing, because I notice when I pick it up she gets a little uptight. So let's close up this gap a little more yet. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. And actually it looks like, from what I got left in there, by the time I get it all unraveled, yep, she'll definitely have to go over it or step on it, which, like I said, I don't really care which she does. So, just going to shorten this up a little bit. But I want to make sure I leave her enough that she can go around it if she wants to, because like I said before, we force nothing on her. I just want her to go this direction. How she goes about doing things, that's entirely up to her. Alrighty, good girl. Well, that was pretty good. Going to go back the other way. And I'm going to keep closing the gap up as we go. If she does okay. Oh, she gets pretty worried going that direction. That's her bad side. I don't know why. I'm not sure what the deal is there, but it's not as bad as it was when we first started, actually. So, yeah, actually, it's not bad at all. Impressed. Yeah, she wants to go around it, that's okay. But since she's not really having a meltdown, I think it's safe to move on. Uh-oh, the wind's actually changing direction now. So we might have to change the angle on this a little bit. And I just pulled it out a tiny bit more. Yeah, the wind is, yep, that's pretty good. So I guess that's what we're going to have to do. A nice little horse. I hope you got enough lead here. Okay. Go that way, go around. There we go. Very good. No, she had a little misstep there or something. The ground is fairly smooth here, and there's no gopher hole over there. Ground squirrel hole, sorry. They're not gophers, they're ground squirrels. Some of you might have gophers. We don't. We call them gophers, but they're not gophers. They're ground squirrels. Specifically a Richardson ground squirrel. And she actually went over the tip of that thing. That was interesting. And she didn't jump. She actually stepped over it. Okay, going that way, she definitely went around it. Nope. Sorry, dear. You gotta go this way. Thank you. Okay. Definitely went around it. Oh, she's getting upset again. She doesn't like this halter either. Never did. And when she gets upset about something, she starts tossing her head around and pulling on the halter. I'm never entirely sure what it is that's bothering her. Is the halter or the event that's taking place while the halter's on? I don't know. Okay, let's go again. I'm trying to get her to go slow. I'm not pushing her. Oh, very, very nice. I like that. Man, that was really nice. And that's her bad side. Holy Dinah. That was good. Alrighty, well, let's send her back the other direction. There we go. Oh, lovely. Nice and calm. This is what you want. Oh boy, this is going well now. Things are improving significantly now. I'm pretty happy about this. Now this is where I don't think she's going to be able to go around this thing anymore, but maybe she can. But let's see whether or not she does. Apparently she can squeeze by it. Okay, that was my flag blowing in the wind that seemed to set her off that time. I noticed that the timing on that was she sped up just as the flag flapped, and it was the wind that did it, not me. I just happened to have it up off the ground enough that the wind could get a hold of it. Okay. She just walked over it, and her toes actually even touched it, and she did it calmly. That's impressive. I'm going to try this one more time. That was pretty cool. What a good girl. Look at that. She went right over the middle of it. Okay, not quite the middle, but you get the idea. Wow, I'm impressed. Well, progress, progress, progress. I love this. This is great. Okay, I think I got it out enough. If she can walk on that tiny little span of grass there, I'll be kind of amazed. I think I better pull this tire in a little bit because I was barely hanging on to it. And now I don't think she's going to have a choice but to go over it. But based on how she did the last time, I think she's going to be okay. Now this is a different direction, but look at that. Walked over it, even dragged her feet on it. Well, that method worked. Look at that. Excellent. Absolutely excellent. And we didn't do anything with the tarp the last time after you watched that last video. And you saw how slow things were progressing. And we did absolutely nothing after that video. What you saw, that was the end of it. And this is the beginning of today. And, okay, she thinks I'm pointing. She's nicely and calmly walking over it. I am amazed. I am impressed. And I wish it wasn't so stinking windy today because I'd like to show you the next step. Because, yeah, we're not done, believe it or not. There's actually more to it. But we've accomplished the really tough part is we actually got her to go over the thing. And that's pretty impressive. And what I would like to do, and I'm just going to briefly explain it to you, working up to what we're going to be doing is, some guys like to tell a little story with this one. It's like you go out riding and first time you ride over a little wee tiny stream of water and that's how big it is. Well, later on you cross that same stream and it's actually gotten a little bit wider. At that point they fold the tarp out. But upstream there's some rain. And that little bitty stream turns into a raging torrent, which is much, much bigger, and they fold out the tarp again. So anyhow, that's basically what we do is in stages, keep opening the tarp out, and one of two things happens. At first they'll start jumping over it. I'm just typically hypothesizing. This is what happens. Doesn't always go exactly this way, but when it's little like that, they'll just walk over it because they can step over it. And the way she was dragging her toes on it, I don't think she's going to care much if she steps on the thing, but we'll see what happens. So once you get them to go over it at this size, you fold it out so it's a little bit wider. You get them to go over it again, and once they get good at that, open it a little more. And they may actually start jumping the thing if they really don't want to touch it, but eventually they'll go over it enough times, and this might take a while. This is a very long, drawn-out process, this whole tarp thing. It can take quite a while before they get really good at it. But eventually you got the entire width of the tarp, which is more than they can jump over. They have to step on it. And that's what you're looking for, because you want the weird footing. That's what you're looking at. Because remember back when I let her into the trailer, or not the trailer, the barn, first time, when she stepped on that concrete, she was a little concerned about it. Not a lot, but a little bit. And that was because it was different footing. And that's one of the things you're trying to do with this tarp, is you're trying to get her used to different footing. And if you're out on a trail ride or something and there's a branch laying on the trail that she has to step over, that's what you're doing here. This is not about a tarp. This is about all the things that this tarp could possibly be. And when it's not so freaking windy, we're going to work on it some more. I'm going to open this tarp up and see if we can get her to walk right on it. So far, she's going over it quite well. I'm impressed with how she's doing here. Yep, that's quite remarkable. Not panicking, stopping right after she goes by it. Doesn't take much coaxing to get her to go over the thing. Yeah, 2 of her feet actually dragged on it that time, and it didn't even bother. What a good little horse. And that was on her bad side, because I have noticed that doing this, there is a good side and a bad side. So anyhow, I'm going to work on a few other little things that you've seen before and see how good they go. And oh darn, I missed my opportunity. The rest of the herd's walking off. I'm going to have to, looks like I'm going to be going a ways to go get that other one now. But I hope, combined with some of my other clips, that we'll make a video out of this. And I really hope you get something out of this. And my little scary tarp, you're going to see it again. It'll be back on a day that's not so stinking windy that we can actually make use of it and start folding it out to the point where she has to walk on it, because I want to demonstrate how that works too. Because like I said, that's not a tarp. There's a lot of things happening there. That's somebody's curtains blowing out the window. That is somebody's raincoat. That is a plastic bag. That is, well, you name it, come on. It's sights, sounds, sensations. It's about footing. It's about things touching her. It's about all kinds of stuff. It's not just a tarp. And a lot of people just don't understand that. They think it's stupid. Actually, I read somebody's comment one time. I'm not going to repeat on whose little forum it was, because it's somebody I don't approve of. But one of his followers made a comment about how desensitizing with the tarp is a waste of time, because when you're out riding in nature, nobody's running along beside you shaking a tarp. Well, they don't get the whole purpose of desensitizing. Desensitizing is not about the individual things. Desensitizing the flag is not about the flag. It's not about the rope. It's not about the tarp. It's about all the things that are similar. And that's something that I really try to drill into people's heads. I've done a video, and specifically, actually I think I've done a couple of them on desensitizing and why you do it and what the different things represent. And they all add up. They all have to do with things that the horse can and will be exposed to in the course of its life. Whether you're riding it in an arena or out in nature, it doesn't matter. You're going to be experiencing things, well, the horse is going to be experiencing things that all of these things address. So that's why you want to do this stuff. So, a little surprise. Well, in my last video, I mentioned at the beginning how you might have to redo things several times, and even with my own horse, occasionally I still got a reminder that the rules still apply. Well, yeah, I'd do that again today. Well, not with my own, but with this one here, this little bay. She has a couple of times given me a little grief, doesn't want to be caught. And yeah, today was another one of those days where she decided I was not putting a halter on her. And every time I'd lift the halter up to put it on, she'd quickly turn and take off. And she knew exactly what she was doing. She wasn't just being slightly resistant. She was, when she saw halter, she knew what it meant, and she was gone. Simple as that. And I've shown you the process for, how you spin the lead until the horse stops. Whatever. Well, we had to do that again for about half an hour straight. Well, it wasn't really a surprise. It was a disappointment, but not a surprise. I was wishing I didn't have to do that, but it's a perfect example of how when you think things are going good, well, because first day it was an hour, next day it was about 15 minutes, the day after that it was like maybe 2 minutes, if that. No, I don't even think it was a minute. And then all of a sudden today, half hour. And even on the way back, she decided to try a few other little adversive tactics. where she'd, just as we're coming into a different area, she'd have a little bit of a meltdown, or at least that's what it appeared to be, where she'd freak out like she was being spooked or really scared of something. And she tried that a couple times actually, and when she got no reaction out of me and I just kept pulling on the lead, then she realized, oh, okay, no point in doing that anymore. Well, also on the note of leading, for a brief period of time, she got real heavy on the lead. I didn't slow down, I just kept going at the same speed. And I'm like, well, if you want this thing to pull hard on your head the whole time, I don't care. That's up to you. Well, it wasn't long, and she decided, okay, he ain't slowing down for me. And then she started leading fine, because the pressure didn't go away when she resisted. Only when she let that lead go slack did the pressure go away. So just thought I'd throw a couple of these ones in, because, you know, even though it's actually still the same day as the last video I did, I figured, why not talk about it? I just thought it was funny that I'd just finished talking about the very subject, because there's many things that you'll have to redo. This one just happened to, the very one I talked about, I had to redo again. And it's not the first time, it's maybe the fourth time I've had to do it with her now so far. And, well, you probably will too. So I'm just warning you, this is how things go. Sometimes you got to redo things a whole lot of times. So at the moment, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with this one yet. I just got her in here. I don't think she's ready for the tarp yet. I do have a lead, a lunge whip, and a flag. Well, I'm going to turn the camera off and see what I can do with those three things. I'm sure I can do something. And based on the last session that we had with her, she still needs a lot of desensitizing to pretty much all of those things. No, except for the tarp. I don't think I'll bother with that one yet. I think that's a little premature for that one. That's a little bit more advanced. Not extremely, but something where you have to have a few other things working before you even think about going there. But it's something that needs to be done, in my opinion, long before you ride. Some people will do it after they've ridden. There's a lot of stuff I do before riding, and basically by the time you get on a horse, it already knows how to be ridden. It just hasn't had a rider on it yet. It's kind of the way I like doing things. Anyhow, I'll probably come back again on this one with something, I don't know what, but it's a whole another day yet. I'm sure there'll be more to show you. That was an interesting development. Oh, well, you aren't watching. You got to pay more attention. But, well, in my last video, I was working with that little paint, trying to get her to go over this tarp. We eventually did get her to go over it. Now, that little horse is also very good with the flag. This little horse here is the complete opposite. She is, to this day, still terrified of the flag. I have to be very careful when I'm waving it around. But she don't give a crap about this tarp. And in fact, even this rope, throwing it over her back, is enough to make her flinch and get her a little nervous. All sorts of things bother her. She definitely needs some more desensitizing. And she really hasn't had a great deal of training. Well, okay, she's had some, but in my opinion, she's not up to speed with the other one. And yet when it comes to things like the tarp, she couldn't care less. She was standing on the other side of it. I moved to this side of it and then just stood here leaning against the side of the round pan. And she decided she wanted to be with me. So what did she do? Walked over the tarp. And then a couple of minutes later, I was looking over and she was standing there eating grass with one foot on the tarp. She doesn't care about that thing. It's a total non-issue to her. She could care less of it. As far as she's concerned, it doesn't exist. So this goes back to something I've said many times before. Every horse is different. And I mean, even though this one, I think basically started getting its training before the other one. I don't believe it's as advanced, but at the same time, it's just a completely different horse. And that's one of the things I'm really enjoying about working with this one, is I get to show you something entirely different. And like I said, this one couldn't care about the tarp. The other one, petrified of it. This one, terrified of flags. The other one, couldn't care less. Two completely different horses, you know. And it's not that one is any better than the other. They're just different. Very, very different. And this is something that you are going to come across, and I've been trying to explain it to you. And I'm glad that I'm getting this with these two horses so I can actually show it to you, is that there are going to be things that your horse is going to be good or not as good at compared to either one of these ones. So, and I mentioned that to you, that, you know, your horse might not be like this one. Don't expect this. I'm always saying that. And, well, what you're seeing in front of you is a perfect example. Like I said, this one, terrified of the flag. Don't care about the tarp. The other one, terrified of the tarp, don't care about the flag. Completely opposite. Both about the same age, very similar experiences, not a whole lot of difference, sort of thing. So it's just, that's the difference in personalities, and that's what you got to watch. So just remember, no two horses are alike, and no matter what you do with yours, it's not going to be the same as anyone else's. I hope you got something out of this one. We're not done with it. Tarp will be back again, and we'll show you a little more on it on a day when it's not so friggin' windy, because we really do want to do some more with it. But I mean, I tough it out for the weather, but there are still days occasionally where, well, we got our limits, and there's only so much we can do. And if we unfold that thing any more than that, the wind's going to catch it, and it's going to be whipping it all over the place, and chaos will ensue. Oh well. I see a piece of hoof trimming laying there. I don't recall any horses getting trimmed in here. Wait a minute, I trimmed mine in here once last year. Maybe that's where it came from. Anyhow, hope you got something out of this. Make use of it. Try it out on your horse. And have a great day, and see you on the next one. Bye now.